Junior Motorsports presents the Pre-Race Report. This week, Junior Motorsports races at the Chicagoland Speedway. Chicagoland Speedway is a 1.5-mile D-shaped oval track with 18-degree banking in the turns. Junior Motorsports is qualified in the top 10 in half of their starts in Chicago.
Anytime you go to a 1.5 mile, 2 mile racetrack, you have to keep it in the back of your mind that fuel strategy can come apart.
I think as a driver, the biggest thing that I can do to save fuel is just really important to be easy going back to the gas, and when you go back to the gas, only do it one time. Because the more you pump the gas, the more gas that you squirt down in the carburetor and the more gas you lose. So when you're trying to save fuel, the biggest thing you can do is roll out of the gas easy, roll back into the gas easy, so that way you're not squirting a bunch of fuel at once down in the carburetor.
When you're saving fuel, you do obvious things like, turning the car off under yellow and coasting as much as you can, running in a lower gear.
Your engine's got to be the most fuel efficient it can be. You got to get good fuel mileage. If your fuel mileage is the same as everybody else's, then if you think you can make it, everybody else thinks the same thing. So I think you got to get your fuel mileage the best you can get it, where you can go further than most people, and then that seems like that fuel strategy works out.
Typically, the way the cars are now with track position and everything, you got to keep that in the back of your mind, because with the new cars, it seems like there's less cautions. Like Chicago, anytime you get a 1.5 mile, 2 mile racetrack like that, tends to have long green flag runs. So any time that you're making a pit stop, you need to be aware of what your fuel windows are.
This week, we go behind the wheel with Aric Almirola.
It's a fun racetrack. This is the one racetrack that we go to that the backstretch is actually a little bit curved. Most racetracks we go to, the backstretch is straight, and then the front stretch is either round or has a dog leg or a quad oval, however they call it. But Chicago is one of the I think it's the only racetrack we go to that the backstretch is actually curved. It makes you feel like you have that much more room on exit of 2. You can really let it run out there. And then here's the part that everybody does. You get off turn 4 and you run right down onto the apron, right next to the grass, and just trying to cut the racetrack off just to run a shorter distance, try and pick up just the smallest of margins. If you pick up a tenth, sometimes a tenth is the difference between the pole and 5th place. So every little bit helps, every little bit counts. When you're in a race car and you're trying to figure out ways to make a faster lap, and you see a shortcut like that, it's easy to go down there and just try and run a faster lap. Every racetrack we go to has its own characteristics, and they can call it cookie cutter if they want, but from in the seat, it's different than every other racetrack we go to. There's no 2 racetracks alike, so you got to drive each racetrack a little bit different. There's a technique to getting around each racetrack that's a little bit different than others. So that's Chicago, and hopefully y'all got a better understanding of what it takes for us to go faster.
Join us this week as they take on the STP 300.